Top of the morning, afternoon, and the evening. It's the Wayne's World Podcast. You know what it is. We gonna get that raw. We gonna get that real, that uncut. For so. You know it's your boy AntMoe. For so. You know it's your boy AntMoe. Boy, don't act like you don't know we love God. For so. Jip. For so. Alright, man, let's get into it. You know what I'm talking about?
Top of the morning, the afternoon, and the evening to you, whomever you may be, wherever you may be watching, looking, or listening. It's your boy AntMoe, trapping at a bando. Whoa, let me eat with your big baby. Welcome to Wayne's World. My middle name, young Tommy. Listen, man, we are back for another week of the Wayne's World Podcast, and I welcome you guys, man. All of you Wayniacs, man, I love you from the bottom of my heart. That is mi corazón, you know what I'm talking about, in Espanol. And listen, for the first time listeners, the casual listeners, you come on back round now, yeah? You show them boys how you do it up in Harlem there, boy. And you may be wondering, all you first time listeners, what is the Wayne's World Podcast about? Well, I'm glad you asked. Man, listen. It is a variety podcast for the Millennial and Generation X listener. We talk about life and life experiences from a Christocentric standpoint, man. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to be able to create a safe place. Look at me. I want to create a safe place for the Christian to be able to talk about life, not as the world thinks we should talk about it, from the life that we actually experience. So it may be current events, pop culture, sports, the Bible, whatever, but we talk about it from the standpoint of us being people who profess to love God. You know what I'm talking about? Who love God. Amen. And so you may be wondering, what is today's podcast about? And I'm glad you asked again. It is entitled, You So Judgy. You so judgy. You know what I'm talking about? And so I want to delve a little bit into, some current event things that are going on, and just related to how, even in our culture and amongst each other, how we can be so judgy towards each other at times, man. And it can be quite tacky, to be honest. It can be quite ugly. It could be quite display a lot of vitriol and hate. You know what I'm saying? But before we move on, and before we get into randomness, as those of you who are faithful and listen every week, or who go back and binge, you know how this show goes. But before we get into that, I also want to throw in just a little call of action. I've been working on the Wayne's World store. And so, I want you guys to have a one-stop shop to get everything Wayne's World Podcast, from merch to blogs to links to the YouTube and links to the audio. And you can also, get into the email list. And so if you go to waynesworldstore.com, and I'll make this very quick, you go to waynesworldstore.com, you'll be able to get all things Wayne's World Podcast. You know what I'm talking about? So with that being said, let's move on and get into a little bit of randomness. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, you random, huh? Random. You know what I'm talking about? So let's get into some randomness, man. And I wanted to start with Young Tiller, Penn Griffey, Bryson Tiller. Man, listen, my wife will tell you this. I was very angry. I was very upset for the past 2 years because we didn't get any music from this young guy, from this young man. You know what I'm saying? And listen, it was cool. It was a cool little old regular low mixtape to get us off your back. You know what I'm saying? It was a cool little something just to, give a little something for yin and yang around the house. But I'm not going for it. I can't. I absolutely won't. First of all, your SoundCloud is amazing. Okay? And it's part of the reason that I went so hard for him as an artist, because he's creative, he's amazing. And I actually was able to go listen to K-Camp. And I've never really been a big K-Camp guy. You know what I'm saying? But I went and listened to K-Camp. And it showed me that Bryson Well, K-Camp is Bryson Tiller with work ethic. Now, you can agree with that or not, but in my humble opinion, I think that K-Camp is what Bryson Tiller can do in his sleep if he worked hard. He gave us pretty much a little mixtape, 10 songs, and it sounds like a whole bunch of stuff that he did before he got on. But, you know, before I got the kicks from Drizzy, like that, like before then, like when he was just doing it for fun and he was trying to find his sound, that's what it sounds like. But I can't get out of my head that you're the guy who made Sequence. I'm like, I just don't get it. Trap Soul was one of the dopest albums in the past 10 or 15 years that represented the R&B millennial vibe. You know what I'm saying? And you hit us with this. I can't let you slide with that, my guy. And that's with all due respect. I can't let you slide with that, my guy. You gotta give us something better than this. The one that, so he's dropping 2 albums. This was considered an album, even though it was a mixtape. But apparently he's dropping something around the winter time. And I just hope that that is a step up from what you just gave us, because that ain't cutting the mustard. So when you ready to put out some really good music, then you come talk to me. But right now, you're giving me mere crumbs. You know what I'm talking about? So moving on, I got a question for y'all. I want to hit 2 TV shows. Have y'all seen Greenleaf? Have y'all seen these less than Christian folks? Man, listen, this show is amazing. It is a roguish, over the top depiction of the black Christian church today and what it looks like to have a church without God. What it looks like to have money devoid of the Spirit. I mean, it's terrible. Any stigma that you can think of that could exist in the church or the black church, it exists in this show. But it's a must watch. It is a must watch. I mean, I'm late to the party, but I got caught up last night on the show. I wanted to make sure that I finished it before I spoke fully on it. Listen, grace was the catalyst for the change and freedom that was going to set this family free. But I don't like nobody from this show. Nobody. Jacob was the only person who seemed to get it, or that wanted to get it, rather. And he was a cheating fool. His wife, Carissa, was a complete headache. She just treated him like the biggest boy in the world. She never treated him like a man. May out here holding on to 40-year-old affairs. Man, let me tell you something. This show buck wild and then some. It is a must watch. It is worth you binging Greenleaf. Because the people on here, let me tell you something. This is well written. This is some gut-wrenching stuff. I've never dropped my jaw more out of sheer, like, oh my goodness, than watching that show. Like, check it out. Moving on, though. Have y'all seen Powerbook 2? This is where your boy Tariq is unraveling before our very eyes. It's so funny. Like, I think Tariq forgets that he's a kid sometimes. You killed your daddy. You did what you had to do. Whatever. You know, you the reason that your little sister got killed. You the reason your mama had to turn herself in. You did more harm than good out here. Listen, why they got that little nigga running around everywhere? That's my question. Every time you look up, he late to something. Through the process of him killing his daddy, he realized that his daddy was not even who he thought he was. As much as he had hate in his heart for him, he hate that he left his mom, that he left his mom to try to be with Angela and all that. But he realized that his daddy was thinking a little more insightful into life. I think what Ghost was trying to show Tariq is that the scales are never as balanced as you try to make them out to be. he judged his daddy prematurely, even though, like, basically you're gonna make mistakes in life. As a father, he was trying to show him you're gonna be wrong sometimes, a lot of the times. But your reasons for moving how you move are justified by you and you only. They're to be judged by God and they're to be justified by you. So I'm not always gonna make you happy, son, but I was always moving in a way that I believe was in the best interest of all parties involved. Even if it makes me look like a snake, even if it makes people think that I'm the worst dude in the world. Most men rode with Ghost for the most part because he was smart. He was always looking to make that next move. And so you gotta take that into consideration when you look at, you know, Tariq wanting to pop his daddy. You know what I'm saying? And I saw that coming. I called it, by the way. I said he was gonna kill his daddy. Like, it was too easy to call. But also on this show, listen, everybody want a piece of Lil Reek. You know what I'm talking about? They all the little youngins, all your little daughters out here throwing that cooch wooch at them. Like, what's that about? Like, I'm like, I ain't gonna say what's that about. It makes sense. Well, it makes sense because they girls. Anyway, yeah, I mean, you know, I guess I get it. You know what I'm saying? He got all these love interests, and he ain't never get done shaking. You know, he drunk, and then he getting, you know, I don't know. This show is cool. It's, don't get me wrong, it's good. Courtney Kemp is a great writer. I enjoy the show a lot, but I hope that they make sense of why he running everywhere. He running to the flower shop. He running to class every day. He got the teachers against him. And then he got the little white kid that's with him. That's like the Tommy before they made it big. You know what I'm saying? I see how they put stuff together. It's very well written. Don't get me wrong. But I just be like, what is going on here? Like, what exactly is, you know, what is the purpose of it? My spoiler alert for me personally, I believe that he's going to turn himself in. He's reading all of these books, and he's, you know, having all of these moments of clarity and self-discovery where he realizes that he says he's ready. I'm ready. He keeps telling his mom, I'm ready. Like, I'm okay. I think one thing that he's learned is for him to not be like his father, he has to own up to what he's done, and he has to tell the truth, and he has to serve his time. The books and stuff that he's read from this free thinking class that he's a part of is pretty much giving you the opportunity to be your own man, to create your reality. And so I think it's dope that, you know, he's having these actualizations, but I think sometimes when things are hidden in plain sight, you have to not be paying attention to not get it. And I'm like, I get it. Like, he's like, from the beginning, it was a path carved for him to kill his father. And then it's also a path for freedom, ultimately, for him to turn himself in and just say, the money isn't that important. Mom, you'll be okay. You deserve your freedom. You didn't kill him. I did. I'ma own that. Another thing, the gayness is out of control on this show. Like, what's the deal with the gay stuff? The prisons, I mean, not the prison scenes, you know, let me tell you something. I don't want to see another tit, another butt, or a ball ever on TV. They going too hard with the gay scenes, man. It's just me. Kid folk, if you like it, I love it. You know what I'm talking about? Like, but I don't want to see no more gay scenes. Okay? Can I just say that and move on? Mary J. Blige be acting her butt off. Method Man be acting his butt off. It's dope when you can see artists be able to transition, because they now one of their music popping no more. Yeah, they got some classics. They are legends in their own rights and respects. But the fact that they could start acting the way they acting is kind of dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, so those are two shows that I definitely think y'all should check out. You know what I'm saying? Greenleaf and Powerbook. You know what I'm saying? Like, go watch them in their totality. You know what I'm talking about? And get back to me. You dig? So listen, man, we about to take us our first little break. When we come back, we're going to get into You Gonna Get These Sports. I ain't going to say we got a lot to talk about because we kind of don't, but we kind of do. You know what I'm talking about? Man, I see you in 2 and 2, Kinfo. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, yeah. Huh. And we back in here. Hey. Yeah. Hey. This ain't no intro. This that entree. Did that intro with Kanye and sound like Andre. Tryna turn my baby mama to my fiance. Hey. Nice azúcar. You know what I'm talking about? So listen. Also, side note. I thought that this beat was freely mine to use, but apparently not, because YouTube keeps tagging me saying that it's somebody else's, and I got it from the friend of the one who I thought owned the beat, but I guess not. So if we can work something out to give me a different beat for You Gonna Get These Sports, that'd be cool. You know what I'm saying? I'll probably reach out to Danny Rad again and see if he can't hook your boy up. The beat is fire. I absolutely love it, but if it's gonna be taking monetization away in the future from stuff that I don't have access to, what's the point? So we're moving on. But listen, man, You Gonna Get These Sports. Can I tell you? Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell y'all? The Cowboys gonna cowboy, kinfolk. The Cowboys gonna cowboy. Listen, I heard that from Vince Staples. He was on the JBP podcast. He said, hey man, the Mexican on Mexican, man. The niggas gonna nigga. Like at the end of the day, the Cowboys gonna cowboy. And so it's kind of like a diamond in a pig snout. Like the Cowboys are just the best worst dream you could ever have. Like, see, okay. So the thing is, everything that I've raved about with the Cowboys is the exact issue that and the reason why they are terrible. We just won 34-31 to one of the worst teams in football. I don't care about it being a division rivalry. We won against a team that can't run the ball. They can't throw the ball. They did all of it against us yesterday. The Cowboys gonna cowboy, kinfolk. Is it supposed to be a badge of honor that we beat the freaking New York Giants? For crying out loud, they were 0-4. I mean, fam, it's not nothing to brag about. Even before Dak got hurt, listen, I had a lot of stuff to say about Dak. I had a lot of stuff to say about Dak prior to him getting hurt yesterday. I no longer have stuff to say about him because what's the point? Fam, you're already having a bad day. Who's to say you're going to ever hear from me? I'm just AntMoe. I'm just a little boy from Forward Texas with a whole lot of perspective. You know what I'm talking about? But, folk, you ain't having a good morning. You got the Lord on your side, but that's about it. You got a $30 million, franchise tag that you signed, but that's about it. Well, I mean, what do you want from me? What y'all want me to say? Huh? Y'all want me to kick a man while he's down? What did May say? She said, I won't pet the head of a dog who ate the food off my plate. What they got to do with this? Nothing. But I just wanted to say it. I'm sorry, Dak. I'm sorry, bruh. Give me a hug, bruh. Come on, bring it in. Give me a hug, dog. I said give me a hug. You know what I'm talking about? Because this is a sad Leroy Brown type situation, folks. Like, for real. Now, most people wouldn't feel the same way if they at least had $30 million guaranteed. But this is still a sad situation. Now, I will say this. He was never worth $40 million. He's not worth $30 million. I don't care what y'all say. For Dak, look at me. I said I wasn't going to talk about none of this stuff, and I literally erased it off of my show notes, but I'm going to get into it anyway. Listen, Dak is not worth $30 million even, because it's not the throws that he makes, it's the throws that he doesn't make. It's when you miss a guy in the flat who's wide open. It's the 10-yard out that you miss on 3rd and 8 that you consistently miss. It's the fact that you can't consistently keep the Cowboys in contention in a game, no matter if the competition is good or bad, until the fourth quarter. I've never seen a quarterback be able to make coming back from 20 plus points look so easy. Where some people would say that that is the ultimate skill, I think it's the ultimate show of mediocrity. If I can't consistently beat up a crackhead, if I go to the death with a crackhead and it take the crackhead about to plunge a sword into my bunghole before I turn it on, it's trash. It's the whole superhero thing. Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, Black Panther, they never just destroy somebody from the jump. It's always gotta be this struggle where at the end I prevail. It's whack. If I'm better than you, I should be able to display that off the muscle. You can't tell me that the line is trash if they're not trash when we're down 30 and we come back. Because all of a sudden, everything seems to be rolling when the cards are stacked against us the most. That whole I play best when I'm under pressure stuff is bullcrap. The teams who dominate, who are consistent, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Patriots, teams of that ilk, they beat the bad teams and they beat them easily. So Dak has to learn to do what he needs to do to keep us in contention early. Because Aaron Rodgers didn't have a line for a very long time. You know what he learned to do? Throw the ball away early and often. How to pick his spots when he ran. The crazy thing is, Dak got hurt doing something that we complained he didn't do enough of. We complained forever that Dak doesn't run as much as he needs to. Some people would say, free him, let him run. Because his legs are one of his greatest assets, is his greatest asset. The ability to threaten people with the run for a quarterback. And his foot was, well, man, Gangnam style. Like, it was, boy, like, that was bad, dog. And I'm one who is a little squeamish. I don't want to see that. Don't show me the replay, Kinfolk. I want no parts of it, Kinfolk. So, that's unfortunate that Dak is hurt. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it makes the Cowboys better. But I do say this. You should have took the contract. There was a young lady that was at the Boomer Jacks that we were at yesterday, and she talked about he has to bet on himself. How many people bet on themselves? I'm like, a lot of people bet on themselves. A lot of them lose. So what? Listen, Dak, you are being too greedy when you think you should get paid as Patrick Mahomes gets paid. Or you think that you should get paid more than Patrick Mahomes get paid based off of a salary cap. That is disrespectful to Patrick Mahomes. Lamar Jackson shouldn't even get paid what Patrick Mahomes gets paid. Say what you want. I don't care. Me, no care. I'm just telling you the truth, though. I'm telling you what God loves. You know what I'm talking about? So, do with that what you may. But he doesn't deserve that much money. And he should have signed that contract because his life could be looking a lot different right now. Now, the Cowboys can say that he's the future all they want. Right? They could sing his praises because it's in their best interest to do that. But if they lose out and have a chance to get Trevor Lawrence, you think they're not going to get Trevor Lawrence and trade Dak away or let him walk? A 4th round pick that just came off a broken ankle, dislocated ankle, a compound fracture with a dislocation. Let me tell you something. That dislocation is a lot worse than what people think it is when it comes to injuries. So, I don't know. And I'll tell you this. I think the Cowboys aren't very smart. Because the moment that we lose our perceived not number one pick, but our perceived franchise quarterback, we should go for the gusto. What are we trying to win for? We're not winning a Super Bowl with Andy Dalton. If we do, call it, man, I just don't see it. I've made a lot of proclamations and I've apologized for being wrong at times. But that comes along with the territory. But there's no way you're going to get me to believe that Andy Dalton, all of a sudden, with the same type of line that he had in Cincinnati, sure, he's probably got better offensive weapons, but his defense is bad. At least in Cincinnati, he had a great defense at one point. He couldn't get them over the top. Now he's older. His arm isn't what it is. You gonna tell me that this guy's gonna lead us to a championship? No. So as a franchise, you need to be smart and you need to lose. Because if it's a time better as any for us to load up to try to get a quarterback, the defensive and offensive linemen, as well as as well as cornerbacks, this is the time, Famoski. Y'all want to battle to fight for the ability to be 6-10 and get into the playoffs in the weakest division in the NFL and lose handily? Because we're gonna get roughshod. We're gonna get ran over real bad if we make it into the playoffs somehow. Fam, just lose. This is why people think that the Cowboys are trash, because we don't know how to do what's in the best interest of the team. Lose, fam, and let us get these top picks. So, who am I though? In other injury news, I don't know if y'all heard, but Tyrod Taylor suffered a punctured lung after receiving a shot from the medical staff. They punctured his lung trying to give him a pain reliever. Punctured his lung. Now, fam, I don't know what y'all think, what y'all believe, but if you puncture my lung, the only thing left to say is, baby, what type of lamb you want? You want the gold-plated lamb chops, or you want what you want? You want them infused with $1 million THC? Like we going top of the line, fam, because the medical staff, the commissioners league, the president, everybody getting sued. I got everybody by the balls, folk. You done ruined my career for all I know. It's time. It's time for you to pay the piper. You know what I'm talking about? How can you listen, you know how that is malpractice. That is reckless. It's a mistake nonetheless. Things like this happen all the time. You run a risk. So, I don't know, man. It's very interesting. It's very interesting because I'm wondering what is the recompense for that? Like, what is the fallout when you puncturing the dude's lung, fam? Because if I'm the other players on the team, fam, you can't even come put a Band-Aid on my finger. You might cut off my circulation, folk. Like, my body parts are not to be trifled with by the likes of you. You understand what I'm talking about? So, hopefully that boy is doing better and that he bounces back. The last thing I'll say before we move on is mad love to them Lakers. Congratulations, fam. I counted you out from the very beginning. You're still very top heavy with you and AD. Y'all's cast is not great. Danny Green, Contavious Caldwell-Pope, Kyle Kuzma, JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard. I mean, the list goes on. The Marquise, whichever one of the twins it is, he's decent. But they're not great, yo. And y'all are not going to convince me. Wait, Swish. Like, man, these guys aren't good, bro. They're decent. And they're playing with two of the top 5-6 players in the NBA. What do you expect? They better play up to their capacity. Rondo's decent. And I gotta clarify, because if you ask Flo, he'll tell you I said everybody was just flat out trash. Ain't nobody. No, they're NBA players. They're decent, but they're not great. They're okay, fam. They're just decent. We want to talk about these things, but we want to talk about them real. We want to talk about them from a real standpoint. We don't fam. Let's not act like these guys are just world beaters. So, congratulations to the Lakers, man. I see y'all doing it maybe one more time. LeBron is not, he's not going to be able to withstand. AD is going to have to actually be the frontline guy for them to be successful moving forward. If that doesn't happen, I don't see it. I do not see it, my friend. So I'm glad he got 4. You know, does he deserve the MVP? It's a matter of opinion. He's decent. He's good. I mean, listen, LeBron is still a top 3 player in the NBA. Let's not act, though. Let's not act. See, and this is the thing. We have to stop eating off yesterday's lunch. You understand what I'm saying? Give me some new manna. See when Jesus, when God was providing food for the Israelites when they was in the desert, it's supposed to be an 11-day trip turning into 40 years. Come on, Bible scholars. Come on, doctors. He provided manna and quail every day for them folks. They didn't get to store the food, though. He just gave them new stuff every day. We gotta stop talking about what LeBron used to be, because he's not that guy anymore. He's still a great player. His shot has developed a lot since, he was young. He can't rely as much on his athleticism. It doesn't mean that he's not a great player, but he's not the top dog anymore. And for y'all to say that would be egregious. It would be asinine. It would be rambunctious. But I say congratulations. I'm not a LeBron fan per se, but congratulations, fam. Go off, girlfriend. Listen, we finna get up out of here. You know what I'm talking about? Let it ride. Hey, let it ride. We about to get up out of here. And when we come back, we're about to get into the meat. You know what I'm talking about? We got to get into how y'all so judgy. You know what I'm talking about? We'll be back in 2 and 2. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, yo. You know what I'm talking about? Man, we back, and it's time to get into the meat of that thing. And for those of you who may be listening for the first time, the meat is the whole purpose of the podcast. It is where we get into the in-depth dialogue about whatever the main topic is that I stated in the intro. And that is, you so judgy, folk. You, kinfolk, let me tell you something. You so judgy, it made me sick to my stomach. You know what I'm talking about? So, y'all some judgy folks. I'm gonna just say it. I'm gonna just put it out there. Y'all some judgy folks. Because, let me tell you something. Me, little M.O., you know what I'm talking about? Little boy from Forward Texas with a whole lot of perspective. Man, listen, I be giving folks the benefit of the doubt. I wish I would judge a soul. You know what I'm talking about? Judge not, yes, lest ye be judged. You know what I'm talking about? That's gospel. That's word. Yeah, I'm lying. Some folk, I ain't gonna hold you. I don't want to talk. I'm lying. I be judging folks too. You know what I'm talking about? We all one and the same with that thing. But I will say this. We miss the forest for the trees. We miss the forest for the trees. What do I mean by that? We're not judged by facts anymore. We're not judged by the evidence of what is really there. We're judged by public opinion. We're judged by the court of public opinion. What exactly am I talking about? I'm talking about Tory Lanez, I'm talking about Daystar Peterson, a.k.a. Tory Lanez. He dropped an album, 3 weeks ago, something like that, called Daystar. And it snaps, fam. I'm not going to even hold you. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not even a Tory Lanez fan. Jay Elliott and my boy Q actually pressed the issue that made me be like, all right, man, I got to check this out. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, I pride myself on objectivity. And I feel like I am able to, get Meg's side however many months ago, 2 months ago. I'm able to get Tory's side 2-3 weeks ago. And then I'm able to formulate an opinion that may not be the popular opinion, but it is an objective, looking at the facts and saying things for what they are based off of my standpoint, my Christocentric standpoint. But it's his best album by far. Like, I've listened to his other albums. He got the Chicks tapes and stuff like that. That's cool. But this is like, if this dude is rapping the way he rapping, ooh, he giving boys the blues. I got the blues. You know what I'm talking about? Old mac and cheese commercial. But listen, now I will say this before I actually delve into it. You could tell how much of an influence that Drake has had on him by far. You can tell that he is from the 6, kinfolk. You could tell, like, he is Toronto through and through. And Drake, first of all, Drake's had a humongous influence on tons of artists that aren't from Toronto. You know what I'm saying? But because he's the wave. But, you know, it was a couple times where he hopped on a song and I thought it was Drake, literally. I'm like, wait a minute, he got Drake on it? No, it's him. Never knew it. It's actually, hey, listen, I can't, it's kind of like a Kobe Jordan type of thing, you know. Do you even know that you're really modeling yourself so much after somebody? I don't know. But anyway, Daystar is a fire album, okay? Basically on this album, he gives his side of the story. You know, he tells about what happened that night, you know, leading up to the shooting. He doesn't ever address the shooting because he's still got an open case. But he details exactly what happened leading up to it, and he gives us insight into their relationship and, you know, the dynamics between him and Meg. And it was a lot to delve into. So with that being said, apparently they was goosing. Yeah, apparently they was swapping, you know, swapping spit. Apparently they was doing the hokey pokey and turning themselves around. You know what I'm talking about? And you know, according to Daystar, he had some dealings with Meg's best friend before him and Meg ever became a thing or started messing around themselves. And there was some misappropriation with some 1942, The Pool, and Kylie Jenner. Let's say this. Anytime the white girls get involved, there's going to be problems. You understand what I'm saying? Am I lying? Am I right about it? Am I right about it? See, this guy gets it. This guy gets it. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I'll respect the white women. But yeah, you know, apparently, you know, he has some dealings. I mean, he goes into grave detail, 17 songs long, about the nature of their relationship, times that they hooked up. You know, I mean, it sounds like a man who loved a woman. Now, I'm not here to say he's guilty. He's not guilty. Meg's a liar. She's not a liar. I'm not a Meg fan. You know, listen, you've seen one booty twerk. You've seen them all. That's not totally true. But I'm just saying, your career is based upon you twerking that thing. You know, and talking about how you ride and how you pop it. I mean, I'm just not into that stuff. And so, I mean, I'm into that stuff, but I'm not into that stuff. You get what I'm saying? I'm a heterosexual male, but man, I hate when I have to clarify. Anyway, but yeah, the problem with this situation is that we can't assume that superstars are over drunken sexual stupidity, like relationship issues that sprinkle over when alcohol or drugs gets involved. Like, we have to remember that these people are humans just like us. So they are prone to make mistakes, to do and say dumb things, to let their emotions get the best of them. Whether they have tons of money, a lot of the times it's about who you got around you who can cover up that type of stuff, keep it under wraps, or stop you from getting in situations like that. But a lot of the times, man, these people are just humans just like us. They just have money to mask their issues a lot of the time. So the preliminary outlook is that Tory Daystar is facing 22 years, 8 months for felony assault and for unlawfully administering or varnishing. I don't know the word I'm trying to say, but basically having a semi-automatic weapon that he wasn't supposed, that he didn't have legally. Now, there are also some other things and layers to the story. Like, for instance, there was supposed to be Tory, Meg, the best friend, and another person, another female, that has an Instagram story that says pretty much what happened. Meg and the best friend got into it. The gun was then pulled from somewhere. The weapon was fired shortly after Tory tried to intervene. And it was easier to say that because the gun belonged to Tory, that he was the one who pulled the trigger. It could be more of an open shut case than pretty much throwing smut on your best friend's name or your name. The person also said that the best friend and Tory are no longer, and not Tory, the best friend and Meg are no longer friends. Meaning that it had to have been more to the story. What would cause a falling out besides maybe the best friend and Meg finding out well, the best friend finding out that Meg and Tory had dealings. You know what I'm like? I don't know. It's a messy situation pretty much. Now, my thing is, I have a couple issues with this whole situation. There is an alarmingly overt trust for the female perspective in matters of abuse, harm, or just word of mouth, something that has happened. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't trust women. It doesn't mean that I'm saying all women are liars. That is not where I'm getting with this. What I am saying, though, is that there is a quicker jump to judgment in the case of the police being called and a female saying he hit me or anything of the like. It is a very easily presumed thing that man is going to get abused in some type of way by the police. He's going to jail. There isn't even a conversation. If the woman calls the police, says this happened, he going to jail. There is no questions. And I guess in that situation, there isn't room for the police to filter through who's lying, who's telling the truth. The police, if I'm called, I am here to bring a halt to the situation. You will then be judged in a court of law. So I get that. But once again, we're being judged by the court of public opinion. So if Meg comes out after 2 weeks after getting shot and she's emotional and she says, he shot me, then it's like, I seen so many people jump off the bridge, like Maul from JBP, just going in talking about how Tory's the worst dude and he's emotional and he's fragile. And what facts do you know besides what is being said in the court of public opinion that he actually is a fragile dude and that he did this and he's got a short complex and all type of crazy stuff that you don't have the facts about? The second thing, as humans, we almost love to see the downfall of other people, especially those who sit high, especially those who have more than us, those who have money, those who have time at their expense. We love to see them fall and talk about how we would have done different or how we're better. That self-righteous thing that we do as human beings, especially as believers, we are some of the most self-righteous people ever. And the problem is people they form opinions too quickly. There's no room to hear a story and there to be room for error explanation. We just say that Tory's the worst dude that we've ever met. He's a sucker. He should be, expunged or expelled from the whole culture of music. And it's just foolishness in my honest opinion. Like I said in the beginning, like we no longer are judged by facts. We're no longer judged by things that can be proven or disproven. As much as you can as much as you can think it's a dumb response, like literally, how could you say I shot you in the foot if you didn't see me shoot you in the foot? Even if it's my gun. If you get drunk, they're saying that she gets drunk to the point to where she's white girl wasted. She doesn't remember anything. She's done this on multiple occasions. Somebody just told me there was a video with her and Trey Songz doing an event or something, and she was all over him. Like they were like, it was to the point to where Trey Songz probably had to smash. Like, and listen, I'm not saying she's a hoe or she's just like whatever, but I'm just saying we also have to take all things into account. If there's, for all intents and purposes, there's no proof that Tory Lanez has ever put his hands on a woman, let alone shot one in the foot of that caliber. We're talking about the 1-2 like female hip hop stars, rap stars in the game. You don't think that he was that drunk that he didn't care what he had to lose by shooting her in the foot? We got to do better. We are judgy people. There's a difference between holding somebody accountable and flat out judging someone. Meaning that you make yourself judge and jury in a sense that you go to social media, you go to the phone, or you go to the people around you and you just say that this is the type of person that he is. That's whack. And that is not the way that you do things. But that's the culture that we live in, because we hide behind keyboards and we tell people whatever we feel, because we know 9 times out of 10 we'll never run into that person. And if we're confronted, we're going to play the tough guy role on the internet. But if we ever seen these people in person, we wouldn't be about no smoke. So that's the part that's unfortunate. I mean, look at the Chris Brown situation. It was people as late as last year. I think I was Ubering or something at the time, and I haven't Ubered in a long time. But I was Ubering one time, and there was these car full of white people in my car, and we were talking about something, and I think somebody was asking about the aux, and I was like, fam, I'm going to play what's on my aux. Like, you ain't putting no music on my aux. And I think some Chris Brown came on, and they were like, oh, no, we don't listen to Chris Brown. He's blah, 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 blah. And it's like, fam, let's stop acting like every situation is cut and dry. Every situation is not as simple as you do something, this is wrong, that's the end of it. A lot of situations are like that, but not every situation. And I'm not making an excuse for abusing women. I'm not. There isn't an excuse for abusing women. But people have been put in situations where they had to defend themselves against somebody punching them or kicking them or stabbing them even. And trying to not put your hands on them or trying to get away without you also suffering bodily injury is a real thing. And so you have to also understand that if you've never been put in that situation, how are you to handle that? How are you to protect yourself if you've never dealt with it? It's like people who jump down police throat. There are people who just flat out jump down the throat of police because they're police and say, oh, you shouldn't have a gun. You shouldn't have a badge. Oh, you went to school for 6 months for this and they just give you a gun. And it's like, fam, stop being an idiot. I guarantee you this. If I had a gun and Joe Schmo had a gun and I pulled said gun out, or let's say I reached for said gun, do you think that Joe Schmo is going to give me the opportunity to find out what he's actually pulling out of his waistband? Like, I'm not excusing officers gunning down unarmed black, white, Mexican men, women. But put yourself in the position of somebody walks around, like I'm telling you, don't move, sit down, whatever. You get up and walk around to get inside of your car or to reach actually inside of your car. What are you reaching for? No, it does not mean that you should shoot somebody 7 times. But you should, as the person who got shot, carefully consider the move that you make. I understand that what I talk about isn't going to be popular opinion. It's not going to be something that you like. I understand that you also may be scared as a black man in America when you get pulled over by the police. That may not necessarily be my plight, but I can't judge you if you feel alarmed because the police pull you over, given everything that has happened in our culture and society today. So I'm saying that there's a balance that we have to find. And when we talk about the scales of justice and judging people, holding people accountable even, there's a manner in which you should go about doing it. When you don't take the proper precautions to do your research, to get your facts, you're just a self-righteous, judgy person who's quick to spout their opinion out. And everybody can do that. Everybody, a mouth is like a butthole. Opinion is like a butthole. Everybody got one. So you just another person with a butthole. Big deal. Can you do your due diligence and figure out what's fact, what's fiction, what's real, what's fake, what's important? Because if you can't do that, you're wasting everybody's time. Tory brought up the fact that he feels like it's a part of a smear campaign because he recently got his master's back. Anybody knows if you're a superstar and you got fans who rock with you and your music is streamed, having your music to your own, having the rights to your masters is amazing. It is an opportunity that only a few artists get to actually have. And the price that you have to pay before you can get them is crazy. So I wouldn't put it past the industry. I wouldn't put it past a label to put some type of smear campaign on, or to boost it up or exacerbate it to make it to where this guy is seen as something that he's never been. See, let's not also look past the fact that he's a black rapper who has some type of past, I'm sure. He's got tattoos. He's got the grill in his mouth. He does drugs. It's so easy to peg him as an out-of-control black man who deserves to be put in jail for something that maybe he didn't even do. Because being treated a certain way because you're a black man in America is something that is real. I'm not the biggest proponent of all of the stuff that people try to make a thing, but this is a thing. He brought up Prince. He brought up Michael Jackson, how they got their masters back, and then what happened to them shortly after they got their masters back. I'm not the biggest conspiracy theory guy. I'm not. But I do think sometimes people will maneuver to get what they want. Is that what happened to him? I'm not sure. Once again, this could simply be an open and shut case of emotions, feelings, drugs, sex, all those things, spirits gone wrong. It could really just be that simple. It could have been that because he said in the song, I did something that night, but it wasn't that. I did something wrong, but it wasn't that. Throughout the whole album, he's talking about reconciliation with her, for crying out loud. Like, he pretty much was saying, I care about you. I want to be with you. But at the same time, like, what do you want from me? I have to defend myself. Listen, I've not seen somebody fight so hard for their innocence since OJ. And this guy doesn't even have the dream team on his side. Once again, public opinion said OJ was guilty regardless of what the facts said. Do I think he did it? I have no idea. Possibly. But we just have to take all of these things into consideration before we are so quick to peg somebody as guilty, rapist, killer, thief, etc. There's a due diligence. The fact of the matter is there are three sides to every story. Yours, theirs, and God. And you better not tell nobody but God. Shout out to Color Purple. The last thing that I'll get into real quickly is, can I just say that we most hide out, kinfolk? We most hide out. He has a song on the album called Most High. Fresh out of jail, I did the Diddy Bop. I tip my cap to the city cop. I walk around free because I'm innocent. You know what I'm saying? Because we on fire. Praise to the Most High. Praise, that's how he said it. Praise to the Most High. Now, the problem with that is, he said praise to the Most High, but he was throwing up gang signs while he said it. What Most High you talking about? Because my Bible says that the Most High is the one true God. He's the God above all gods. He's the Lord of lords. He's the King of kings. That's the Most High that we make reference to, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Now, my problem is that in the industry, it is full of people who don't even really believe in God, or they've lost their way. So they play it safe and not say God or Jesus. They say the Most High. It's like, fam, thank you to the Most High. It's like, fam, we don't, who is the Most High you talking about? Because your actions don't line up. Like, you talking about busting and popping and screwing and sucking and smoking this and doing that the whole album, and then you talking about praise to the Most High. If I die, I'm gonna die Christian. It's like, hey, fam, whoa. Let's just calm down just a little bit here, because we don't know what you got going on. We don't know what you repping like that. So don't just be so quick to affiliate yourself with something that we may not want you to be affiliated with. You know what I'm talking about? You can do what you want to do, but I'm just saying the whole Most High thing is like, boy, I'm really exhausted from this. At the end of the day, I encourage people to It's not even necessarily by giving people the benefit of the doubt. It is about just being careful and understanding that the measure with which you judge people is the measure in which you will be judged. That's facts. That's Bible. Do your due diligence to find the facts. There are facts that can be found within things that could prove or disprove something. Let's not just jump to annihilate this man's whole character, say he's guilty, and we don't even have both sides of the story. I think it has been far proven that just because something is even presented before a jury of your peers or a judge, that the results of that show that a person is innocent or guilty. Evidence can be skewed. Public opinion can skew a case. So just because they've given this man or allegedly charged him 22 years and 8 months, if he's actually convicted, doesn't mean that he did it. There's powers and authorities that operate on this plane that they kind of be winning sometimes. So y'all just got to keep that in mind, man. Listen, when we come back, we're going to get into the question of the day. And we're going to get up out of here and end this old podcast. You know what I'm talking about? Yes, sir. What it is, man. We back. We finna end this old thing. You know what I'm talking about? We got to get into this question of the day. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And the question of the day is, what area of your life do you need the biggest renovation? We humans, bruh, and we live a life that is full of hurts and pains and victories and triumphs and defeats and wins and losses. And those things are all relative, you know what I'm saying? Like, it depends on the person. Like, some things have more of an effect on people than others. Sometimes we got to cleanse and purge ourselves of those bad experiences, man. Whether that's fasting and prayer, you know what I'm saying? You know, whether that's, you know, getting away for a little bit, taking a little vacation, taking a sabbatical. What is the biggest area in your life that you need a renovation? What is the area of your life that you need the biggest renovation? I would say for me, family, man, is big. Family, loved ones, people that I hold close, experiences that I've had. I wish that I had something to just make me forget about all the experiences, because it makes it very hard to forgive, to love, to move on from certain things. And I talk about this a lot, but I mean, I'm just talking about overall, man. There's a lot of things like business. I could take losses in business. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could lose my job tomorrow and I will be okay. I promise. But the family piece, man, that is very hard. That is very, very hard. Or even just people, friends who you care about, that you grow to care about and love. Like, it's very hard to forgive people when they do bad things or if they make dumb decisions, in your opinion. Because what you may think is dumb, they may feel justified based off of how they decide to move in life. But I wish, or I wish to have the biggest renovation in my life, you know, in just learning how to more freely and readily just forgive. And should I say forget? Yeah, forgive and forget. The guy tossed my sins into the sea of forgetfulness. He cast my sins into the sea of forgetfulness. So I don't have a need to hold on to what you did to me. Listen, well, folks, how fitting, as this video freezes up on the You So Judgy podcast, that I give y'all the opportunity to judge me, because my audio just at the end was like, nah, fam, you can do this last 8 minutes by yourself. And the video just isn't there. Don't know what happened. Have no clue. But, yeah, that's the end of it. So, with that being said, y'all know how I end the podcast, man. Listen, man, life is hard enough. Don't just live elevated. Until next week, I love you. I'll see you at the conference. God bless you. Peace.